Every IELTS Task 1 question has the same sentence sitting at the top, and almost nobody reads it properly. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features. That's selecting, not listing, not all of them, selecting. Most students just ignore that word, selecting, completely. They look and they see 6 data points and try to fit every single one into their body paragraphs, category by category, year by year, moving left to right across the chart like they're reading a spreadsheet out loud. And it feels thorough, it feels safe in many ways, but it's quietly costing you marks because IELTS task achievement isn't measuring how much you noticed, it's measuring what you chose to say. Firstly, by now, you should already know not to skip the overview. That's like the movie trailer. Remember the no overview rule? If that's solid, then good. If not, you can go back and watch my earlier video to find out what it is and what to do. So this is what happens after the overview, inside the body paragraphs. And I guess where what we could call the exhaustiveness trap lives. It is exhausting. Let's find out. A student writes the overview really well and then opens paragraph 2 and just marches through everything, every category in order. I don't know, it could be coal, then gas, then nuclear, then wind, then solar, each with its own number and each treated with exactly the same weight and meaning. And it's like the chart has no shape at all. It's just 6 equally important facts sitting next to each other. Let's think about it. If everything gets equal weight, each thing the same importance, then nothing stands out. And if nothing stands out, then the IELTS examiner can't tell whether you noticed the one change that mattered or got lucky and mentioned it in passing with everything else that you said. And thoroughness without judgment, it doesn't read as competence. The examiner doesn't read that as, well, that's good. It just reads as a student who's maybe too nervous to choose and commit to that change that is clearly there in the chart. Here's a repeatable way to choose, a way that you can run on any chart in less than a minute. Step 1, scan the whole thing once. Write down nothing. Just look. You're hunting for extremes and changes, not specific numbers. Oh, and a quick pause. If this sounds like it's useful so far, then hit the subscribe button. And don't miss the next one. Anyway, back to the chart. Step 2, we pick the 2 or 3 candidates. The highest point on the chart, the lowest point, and the sharpest change, which usually isn't the biggest number, it's the biggest movement. That could be a number of things. It could be a line crashing. Sometimes it's 2 categories crossing over, one overtaking another partway through the time frame. Step 3, rank what you found by how surprising each one is. So a category that barely moves is not a candidate, no matter how neatly it would fit into your paragraph plan. If it's flat, leave it out. Think of a fisherman by the lake. He's not there pulling in everything that swims past and describing each one. They maybe keep 2 or 3 of the fish that are worth keeping and throw the rest of them straight back. Because a boat full of tiny little fish doesn't impress anyone. And it's going to be a terrible dinner, but 2 or 3 nice ones, perfect. Let's run it on a real one. So we have 5 energy sources: coal, gas, nuclear, wind, solar, tracked from 2000 to 2020. Earlier, we used a very long word, which was exhaustive. Just thought it was a good word to put in there. But here's the exhaustive version of this. Coal fell from 40% to 15%. Gas rose slightly. Nuclear stayed roughly stable. Wind rose from 2% to 18%. Solar rose from near zero to 22%. What do we have there? We had 5 sentences, 5 facts, but 0 shape. Now, the more selective version reads like this. Coal's share fell sharply across the period, dropping from the dominant source to among the smallest. Solar showed the most dramatic movement of any source, overtaking wind by 2015. By 2020, solar and wind combined had surpassed coal entirely, a crossover that did not exist at the start of the period. So perhaps some of the language used in there might have been a little bit better, but not by a huge amount. What did change, the main changes, is that we had 3 sentences, 3 choices, and it's a shape that the examiner can follow. We know what changed by how much, but the most noticeable, surprising ones. Think about it, it's the same chart, the same numbers, but now it's a completely different level, a completely different band. So try this before your next IELTS practice test. Look at the chart for 30 seconds, then cover it and write down only the 2 or 3 features that you'd keep. If you can't do this in 30 seconds, you're still trying to hold everything in your head. And that's the exhaustiveness trap. And now you know its very long name. Remember at the start we said that sentence that's at the top of every IELTS Task 1 question? It's been there telling you the answer the whole time. Select, report. That's the whole task. That's all you have to do. Follow for more of what's been hiding in plain sight. Go to my website if you're interested in the course, and while you're there, pick up some free resources. See you in the next one.